Alright guys, let's get straight into the video, okay? So what we're covering today is the top 3 mistakes I'm seeing a lot of clinics make when it comes to growing and scaling their clinic, alright? So let's get straight into it, okay? First one is working with a cheap or wrong agency. Now, I'll get to why this is important in a second. I'm not saying this because I'm expensive or anything. I'm saying this because you guys don't want to cheapen out on an agency, because that type of agency is just getting you guys leads or customers. That's all they're doing. Okay, you guys can do that yourself. You guys don't need an agency to come in and run your ads for you, and that's that. Because again, if you run ads to a broken system or a broken strategy, it doesn't matter how good your ads are. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters, okay? If you haven't got that lifetime value system in place to make a customer worth $10,000, like, you guys don't need that. You guys need a growth partner. A growth partner is someone who comes in, basically works with you guys to increase your revenue. So it's not just, they haven't tailored their business or their offer around a specific service. They tailor it towards increasing your revenue. Okay. Now again, there's been a bit of bias towards that, but just make sure you guys don't have an agency that just runs your ads. Okay, because what's gonna happen is that they could be thinking, oh my god, look at me leads we're getting, look at me leads we're getting. But if they can't identify that you guys aren't closing the leads, or it's low quality leads, what happens then? You guys are going to be in conflict, and it's never going to work out, and you're going to say agencies don't work anymore. So first thing I'll tell you guys is work with a growth partner if you're going to have someone run your ads. If not, do your ads yourself. You guys don't need an agency to come in and just get you a few leads. It's not worth it. Use that ad spend and run the ads yourself. Okay, it's not difficult to do. It's very, very easy. Now, the second thing I want to cover is something worse than going to a cheap agency. It's relying on referrals. Okay, if you are a clinic owner and you guys can't control your growth, it is very, very hard to actually grow. If you don't know, like, all growing is for your clinic is numbers. I spend X and I make X. Okay, if you know a customer's worth $8,000 or $10,000 in their lifetime, I spend $1,000 to get a customer in, which is very, very high, by the way. Ours is like $100 for our clients, but let's say I spend $1,000, I make $8,000. That's an 8x return. Okay, now there's two things you need to be focusing on there. How can I make my customer acquisition costs lower? So let's say you get it to $500, you just double the business. Now, what if you get your lifetime value as well from $8,000 to $16,000? You've also doubled the business, okay? Because each customer that comes in now is not just spending $8,000, it's spending $16,000. So what you guys need to be focusing on are those two metrics. How can I make my acquisition costs as low as possible? And how can I increase how much a customer is worth? If you do those two metrics, you guys are going to succeed, okay? So the reason why I say that is because if your customer acquisition costs are zero, you don't really have a real company yet, if you can afford to buy a customer. Now, again, I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. I'm saying that because all marketing is, or all growing the clinic is, when you're going from 6 to 7 figures, 7 to 8 is just numbers. Okay, you guys need to be able to sit there and say, I spent X to make Y. Right? It's very, very hard to get to 7 to 8 figures, even higher, for your clinic if you've got no marketing. Okay, reason being is that you need attention on the business. Best way to do that is through ads. If you've got a very good organic presence, then that is an exception. But if you've got nothing, it's very, very difficult just to rely on referrals. Okay, it's very, very difficult because, again, there's like, how I want you guys to visualize this is there's like a pond. That pond is going to be only got a certain amount of fish. Once that pond is done, you guys need to go broader into a lake, into an ocean. Okay, well, there's great white sharks. Obviously, there's more competition. It's harder, but you guys need to be pretty much going into that market because there's a lot more fish there, there's a lot more clients there, and that's when you're actually going to scale. Okay. And then the third reason I'm seeing is retention issues. This is another mistake that I'm seeing a lot of clinics make. Like, they don't actually have control of their customer journey, and they have retention issues. They can't get customers rebooking. Okay, if you guys can't get customers rebooking, it's something to do with your sales process. Something inside your sales process is holding you back from scaling. Okay, so you need to be thinking: is it the receptionist? What is their sales process? Have I given them scripts so that when a client comes in, they've done their treatment or they've done their consult, and I've put them onto a packaged outcome offer, and I've given them a script and taught the receptionist, how to actually sales training, how to handle objections, how to actually get them to ensure that my rebooking rate is high. Okay, because again, existing customers is the best way to grow your clinic. Okay, because no marketing costs. So if you have a retention issue, you need to sit and analyze, where is the bottleneck. Is it Is it because I'm selling treatments, not outcomes? Is it, 1 week in, like what is your actual retention rate of existing customers? That's what you guys need to be focusing on, because you could have the best ads, you could have, the best growth system. But if your clients aren't rebooking, then it's something to do with your sales or your operations. Either the nurse or the injectable, whoever didn't do a good job, or your sales process is bad and you didn't lead them to where they want to go. So if you know that, like, you guys can't assume it's in their court to come in next. You guys can say the receptionist needs to come in and go, okay, well, that was good, let's book you in for next week, and just assume authority, right? That's another thing. So if you guys can focus on the retention side as well, you guys are going to kill it. But those are basically the 3 most common mistakes I'm seeing for clinics, right? Any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.